I believe in old people. I believe that they're the foundation of our communities and that they're the past that holds the key to the future. It's said that those who ignore history are forever bound to repeat it, and if you ignore the elderly, you're ignoring historians. They're beacons of knowledge tarnished by age and grouchiness. When you get past that, you have a whole lifetime's worth of knowledge at your fingertips. In the past 100 years, America itself has experienced the Panama Canal, long-distance telephones, the First World War, the Great Depression, Prohibition, the FBI, American gangsters, World War II, the atom bomb, the destruction of cities, the UN, the Cold War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the hydrogen bomb, the end of segregation, the first American satellite in space, the U.S. embargoes on Cuba, the Bay of Pigs, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the I Have a Dream speech, the JFK assassination, the Miranda rights, the Martin Luther King Jr. assassination, the first man on the moon, the voting age lowered, Watergate, Ronald Reagan being shot, the Challenger exploding, Mr. Gorbachev tear down this wall, the Persian Gulf War, the fall of the Soviet Union, the Cold War ending, Ruby Ridge, the Waco Massacre, the Oklahoma City bombing, the bombing of the World Trade Center, Columbine, 9/11, and the recession. And you know who've lived through all that? Old people. I could, of course, look up World War II bombing operations over Italy and see what a book has to say. Or I could head 2 miles down the road and ask Charlie Ball what it felt like to drop tons of bombs on an enemy and escape death more than once by mere chance. I could read about the devastation the atom bomb had on Japan, or I could ask my Grandpa George about seeing Nagasaki and how it felt to witness the shadows of things that were no longer there, amid a ring of ruin. I could Google the Great Depression, or I could go talk to the Sullivans and see how growing up in the Depression made waste not, want not their creed. I could Bing the Cold War, or I could go down the street and ask Warren Fox what it was like to work on military communications in Europe under the constant threat of the Soviets. Ever wonder what the revolutionary 60s were like in Africa? Go ask Skip Frisbee, he can tell you. Curious how it was to watch the Watts riots in LA from your balcony a mile away? Ask Larry and Marsha Brady. The vast cache of knowledge gained by those who went through it is both interesting and important, because the facts of what happened aren't what sets their stories apart from the history books. No, the human emotion is what sets them apart. It's, for lack of a better term, emotional history. Ever heard anyone talk about remembering the assassination of JFK? They don't tell you his assassination happened at 12:30 Central Standard Time on Friday, November 22nd, 1963. They tell you they heard it on the radio while they were driving and immediately broke down crying, or just got home from work and happened to turn on the TV. The history the elderly give us is the history with a human touch. The crying shame is that too often are the elderly put to the back burner because they're cranky, shy, or secluded, yet you could spend all day with them and still have plenty of stories and events from their lives left over for tomorrow. All you have to do is step back and think. In this world of technology and this age of information, most of what we know comes from books and movies. Our actual experiences are minuscule, yet our knowledge is vast. It's great to expand your mind with documentaries and history books, but adding that third dimension of emotion to the information makes it all the more precious to acquire and pass on. So next time you have the chance to talk to your grandparents, sit down and learn maybe a little something more about the past you thought you knew. This, I believe,